Hi everyone! Are you looking for transitions for your first and second grade music classes? If so, keep watching! Hi everyone, it's Aileen Miracle from Mrs. Miracle's Music Room, and today I'm going to talk to you about my 3 favorite types of transitions for first and second grade music. In my last video, I talked to you about transitions for the kindergarten music room, and I talked about story transitions as being one of my favorite ways to transition. And story transitions are super fun. But when I first started learning about transitions, I probably overused the story transition because it's just so easy to do. So the idea of a story transition is, you kind of take your kids on a journey. Like maybe if you're doing engine number 9, then you can say, and on the train we met our good friend Lucy Lockett. And then, after you sing and play Lucy Lockett, then you could say something like, and Lucy Lockett was friends with Queen Caroline, and then you go into Queen Caroline. And like I said, I think I overused that type of transition when I first started using transitions. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you about 3 different types of transitions. So before we jump into my 3 favorite types, what exactly is a transition? So a transition in the music room is a way to go from one activity to the next, or one song to the next. And ideally we'd like to do this seamlessly, so we just go from one thing to the next, and the kids don't even think about how we got there. And it's just a great way to keep the lesson flowing really smoothly. All right, so I'm going to talk to you about my first favorite type of transition for the first and second grade music room, and I'm just going to call it Name That Tune. So with Name That Tune, it could be as simple as we get done, playing Bee Bee Bumblebee. I pick up my recorder, I play Apple Tree, kids raise their hands, tell me, Mrs. Miracle, that was Apple Tree, and we move on. And we sing Apple Tree and play that game. You don't even have to say, boys and girls, I have this instrument here, and I'm going to play a song for you, and I want you to figure out what it is. Sometimes I do a little bit of that just so that I can review with them that the instrument I'm holding is a recorder. So I might say, boys and girls, what instrument is this? And sometimes they'll say flute, and I'll explain, well, a flute is played like this, but this is played like this. And then they figure out it's a recorder, and then I play Apple Tree. But it can be even quicker. You can just simply pick up the recorder, play Apple Tree, and off you go. Another way to do Name That Tune is to clap the rhythm of the next song for them. So this could be immediately after you play Bee Bee Bumblebee, you just go ahead and clap the rhythm to Apple Tree, and they guess it's Apple Tree, and you move on. There are a couple other ways you could do this. You could have 3 titles on the board, and they have to, you might have like We Are Dancing Queen Caroline and Apple Tree. You clap the rhythm. They could even close their eyes and vote on whichever one they think it is. They vote that it's Apple Tree, and then you sing and play Apple Tree. Another way to do this is to kind of transition from echo clapping. So maybe you get done playing Bee Bee Bumblebee, you ask students to be your echo, and then you echo patterns from Bee Bee Bumblebee like this. And then they echo you on that, and then you start doing some other patterns with Ta and TT, and then you start getting into some patterns from Apple Tree like this. They echo you. They echo you. And then you can say, okay, boys and girls, I'm going to clap the rhythm to an entire song we know. Just listen and try to figure out what it is. You clap the entire rhythm to Apple Tree, and they have to name that tune. Again, you could have 3 titles on the board if you want, or you could see if they can do it without those 3 titles. All right, the next type of transition I will call Change That Rhythm. So the idea of Change That Rhythm is you have the rhythm to a song that you've just done. So let's say you sing and play Naughty Kitty Cat. They play the game, they sit down, they look at the board, they read the rhythm to Naughty Kitty Cat with Tee Ta and rest. And then you tell them to close their eyes and say, boys and girls, I'm going to change the rhythm a little bit, and I want to see if you can figure out what I've changed. And then you change the rhythm from Naughty Kitty Cat to Bow Wow Wow. So this transition works really well if you have two songs that have pretty similar rhythms, or maybe just a few beats are different. You change the rhythm to bow wow wow, have them open their eyes. They figure out what has changed. Like you can see on the slides right now, there's not too many different rhythms, so they could tell you, well, the first beat is different. It was a TT and now it's a ta, and you just go through all the changes, all the things that are different. They read the new rhythm, they figure out that it's bow wow wow, and you sing and play the game. So it's just a simple little change that rhythm, go from the rhythm to one song to the rhythm of another. Another two songs that work really well for that. In second grade, Dinah and Dance Josie have pretty similar rhythms, so you can just change a few things. They figure out what the new rhythm is, and then off you go. All right, and then transition number 3, I'll just call inner hearing. So the idea of inner hearing, it's kind of similar to Name That Tune because they have to figure out what a song is, but it works even more on their inner hearing skills. So let's say you get done singing a song like Seesaw, and they've sung it and done their hand signs with it, and then you say, okay, everyone, be my echo, and you sing patterns from Seesaw like this. So, me, so, me. They have to echo you. So, me, so, me. They have to echo you, and then you could do some other patterns like me, so, me, so. Again, they echo you, and you just kind of go back and forth. And then I can just give them the first pitch, the first solfa, and I'll show the hand signs for the entire pattern, but I'm only going to sing the first solfa, and they have to sing the entire pattern back like this. So, you have to sing the entire pattern back, or me. They have to sing the entire pattern back. So you're just with that activity, you're working on their inner hearing skills, and then you can say, okay, boys and girls, I'm going to show you the melody to an entire song we know, and I want you to figure out what it is. And let's say at this point they know So, Me, and La. Okay, so you could, even in that little transitional activity where they're echoing you can add some La into that. And then you say, okay, I'm going to show you the melody to an entire song we know. Try to figure out what this is. So. And they have to hear it in their head and then figure out, oh, Mrs. Miracle, it's We Are Dancing. Some of your kids might say Lucy Locket for that one because the rhythm is so similar. And then you could point out like, oh, it's really close to We Are Dancing, but it's not quite We Are Dancing. The rhythm's a little different. And then they can figure out that it's We Are Dancing. You sing We Are Dancing and you play the game, and off you go. Again, just a really quick way to not only transition from one activity to the next, but also work on their musical skills. And that's what I really like about these 3 types of transitions. Name that tune, change that rhythm, and inner hearing, is that with all 3, unlike the story transition, which is just a fun way to transition from one thing to the next, you're working on their musical skills. You're working on their inner hearing skills and their rhythmic skills, working on their musicianship as you're transitioning from one thing to the next. Another way to transition, instead of transitioning from one song to the next, you could transition from one spot in the room to the next. So let's say you get done playing Apple Tree, they're in a circle, but now you want them to be sitting in front of you at the smartboard. A lot of times I'll just say, okay, boys and girls, if you could sing Apple Tree as you sit down in front of the smartboard, and they do that. I will say that even as much as you practice this, it can be a challenge for kids. They want to talk back to their seats even though you're asking them to sing. And a lot of times I'll say, can you sing and talk at the same time? And they'll say, no. Okay, well then I should only hear singing. And then I have noticed that if I say something like, my challenge for you is, do you think you could sing and only sing as you go back to your seats? And that definitely has helped them. And I mean, my thinking is the more you have them sing, the better. Some kids need a lot of singing experience before they're able to match pitch. So if you have them singing from one spot in the room to the other, then hey, even more singing. But even with all of that, I still sometimes have kids who want to talk instead of sing. So I created a set which I call animated transitions for the music room, and it's a first grade set. And the idea is you can either put up the lyrics to a song like you see on the screen right now, and you can have them sing as they're looking at the lyrics, Or you could have them watch something, like for apple tree, they can watch the apple fall off the tree and go across the river, like you're seeing on the screen right now. And you're just having them watch that as they're singing and going back to their seats. I have found this to be really helpful to have them have them have something visual to look at while they're going back to their seats. They're so excited to see what's going to happen that they don't typically talk. It's just been a kind of a nice little solution in my music room. I will post the link for that set below this video in case you're interested in that. All right, if you're interested in kindergarten transitions, then I will also link to that video so you can see some of my favorite kindergarten transitions, which includes the story transition that we talked about today. I also have a first grade free lesson plan in my store, which I'll link to below, which will show transitions in action. I have actually a whole column on my lesson plans for transition, so you can kind of see how I transition from one activity or one song to the next. And if you're interested in purchasing my first or second grade lesson plans, I'll also link to those below. I will be doing another video soon for transitions in the upper elementary music room. And once I do that, I'll make sure to link to that below this video. Thank you for watching. Make sure that you are following me on TPT to see any new free videos that I put out or any sets that I put out that you're interested in. And have a great day.